What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? I feel like this type of video is well overdue, but today in this video we are going to go over the different types, some formation tips, and all kinds of good stuff. If you're new to the channel, or if you have not already, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I am greatly appreciative. It helps the channel out so much. Again, we're a new channel just starting out, very low. We're trying to get to at least 100 subscribers. The main goal is 1,000, but we're trying to get to 100 for right now. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Always helps. So let's check out the squads. We have attack, defense, assault, magic, and my favorite, archer. The attack right here, this is basically melee attack, right? So these are your big beefy melee attackers. They put out damage, and they are melee attack. They put out damage pretty decent. They're pretty good damage dealers. So I only have a few. I got the Battle Wolf, I have the Swordsman, and we have the Abyss Devil, SSR. He's one of my favorite characters. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I only have 3 right now, but they are your frontline damage dealers. Then you have defense. Defense is the little shield. These are your tanks. They are up front. They absorb lots of damage. They have high health pool, high hit points. And they just tank. They're just good frontliners to protect your backline and, you know, help out with the attackers, melee attackers. Next up, we have is assault. Assault is a different kind of attacker. They are for the most part, it seems they are a melee attacker, but they have like a little special ability where they kind of charge. So what I like to think of them as is assault is more of like a charger. And I will explain furthermore what I mean by that, and I will give you some examples. We'll go into a match in a little bit, and I will show you what I mean by charging. But that's what assault is. They're chargers. And next we have is magic. Magic is a ranged damage dealer. They put out really good damage, but it is magical. Magic. So we have like these like spellcasters. I could call them spellcasters if you want. And then we have our ranged damage dealers, which don't do magic. They just do raw physical damage. And that would be our archers. So we have the leafy archers right here, the three-eyed spider guy, and the marksman. Now, there are different counters. Some are better than others. Some are good. I mean, some are good against other types. So if we go over and we check out our formation real quick, you will see the counter icon right here. And we have the melee attackers are good against the tanks, right? So the tanks don't put out a lot of damage. I mean, the tanks their damage is really, really low. They put out like no damage. So if you put out a melee attacker goes up against a tank, the melee attacker is just going to absolutely shred the tank. The tank's going to take the damage, but the melee attackers just put out so much physical damage that it just kills the tank like nothing. Now, the good thing is, what do you use the tanks with? The tanks are good against the chargers or the assault. Now, the reason for this is the assault charge across the battlefield. Now, what happens if you put a tank in front of the charger? It completely stops that charge. So again, we're going to go into a battle and I can explain it a little bit better. But the chargers charge all the way across, like kind of like piercing the enemy, piercing the troops, and they just keep running through. Whether they die or not, they will just keep piercing through. So if let's just try and give a quick example. Say this is our team, right? And we have a charger down here in this bottom row. They will hit all 3 rows. So if I have one person in the front row, their ability at the beginning when they charge, they will strike this person, piercing them. They will pierce the troops here, and they just kind of hit the whole row. Yeah, if you want to say rows as in this way, they'd hit the whole row. Now, what the tanks do, though, the tanks stop that so that they cannot hit all 3 rows. So that's why tanks are very, very good, and they're very, very important that you put them in the right position. Next up, we have the chargers. The chargers are good against the archers. Why? Because, again, they just pierce through. They run straight to the back line. That's what the assault does. Assault chargers, they run straight to the back line with their charge ability, And that's good because then they wreak havoc on all the backline. That's why you want to protect your backline with the tank. Tanks stop the chargers from getting to the backline. Next up, we have the archers, who are good against the melee attackers. Again, the archers are good against the melee attackers because the melee attackers need to get up front. They need to get in that melee range, whereas the archers can sit in the back and they can still put out damage from afar. So the time that it takes a melee attacker to reach the archer has already put a ton of damage out on that melee attacker. And then we have our magic people, which are... I'm trying to find some answers to clarify this, but based on this, what my thought is that the magic don't have any weakness, or they're not good against anything, just based on how it is. I mean, it's kind of just thrown out here. I wish it kind of like said like no counter, or I don't know. It just, the way this is kind of just thrown, it's a little bit confusing, because you could be confused as like, okay, does the magic have... The magic's just neutral. They don't have a weakness, but they're also not good against anything? Or is you saying that the magic are supposed to be like underneath the assault, and they have the same, so that the tanks are good against the magic and the magic is good against the archers? You know what I mean? I don't know how to take this the way it's put. I don't know if this would be, if these two are supposed to be together, or if this magic is just off to a side. So assuming, I'm just going to say that the magic is just neutral. Again, I don't know 100% because I'm trying to find some answers. It's a little bit hard. But yeah, I mean, so that's the best way I could explain it. Now, let me jump into a battle real quick. Here we have our enemy, and they got a bunch of different characters. As you can see, they have a melee attacker, they've got a tank, and they got their archers right here, right? So here we go. Right here, it is recommended that we put assault. So like I said, assault is going to run through and pierce all 3 rows. So our assault is going to hit this first row, do damage to them. It's going to do damage to the second troop right here. And it'll, if there was a third, it would just run through all 3. Now, because they don't have a tank here, it's just literally going to run through all 3. If we were to put our assault, say, in this row right here where the tanks are, and say they had their archers back here, our assault wouldn't reach their archers because the tank would stop them. So we're going to put our assault right here. Right here, it is recommended that we put defense because it's just, what is it? Defense against defense. Yeah, we don't, I mean, I don't know why it says recommended defense when we really should put a melee attacker there. I mean, they have a melee attacker there too. So we'll just put our melee guy here. And then because they have an assault there, so it would be like this. We could switch this over. We'll put our tank there. We'll put our melee damage dealer go up against their melee damage dealer. And again, we have our charger, aka assault guy at the top with their archers. So he's going to blow through all 3 of them and destroy them. And then we have an extra tank. We could just put, where else could we put? We could just put our tank right here and then have him come up behind them. So that way it's kind of like the tank will be going up against that. It'll be 2 people. So he'll help him out and he'll be fine. And then we have our back line. I don't want to go too like crazy. I just want to show some examples. So let's just jump into this battle real quick. I'm going to try and slow it down so you guys can see, because I think I have it like 3 times speed. Let me slow it down. So here's the battlefield. Let me slow it. It's at 1. Okay, so here you go. See the chargers? They just charge through until they hit the troop in the backest line, like the furthest back line, and they just get that. And let's see what else we have going on. Again, we have our melee doing, it's hard because it's just so much chaos. There's just so much going on. They're a way higher power than us, so we're definitely going to lose this. I also don't have this on auto combat, so it's not even casting our spells. We actually might have had a chance if I had the auto going, because I'm trying to explain it and show off some stuff. Again, this says danger. They have their SSR guy right there. He has his special ability. So like, I'm gonna move all our stuff out of the way here. But like, if you look over here, they have tanks on all their front line. So like all their back line is like really, really protected, which stinks. So our chargers are really not gonna benefit anything. So this is where having like different types powered up would help. Like, you don't want to have, like, just because he's like an SSR or like just because they're like certain characters are like more rare than the others. You don't necessarily need to power them up. Like, you need to have good diversity because you never know what the formation's going to go up against. Like, they got all tanks, so like having these chargers, like the chargers are just going to get stopped in their tracks immediately. Like, you'll want to have like different characters powered up. Like, don't just power up a few of them. You need to power up like lots of different characters. So again, I'm just going to we'll just throw this as an example right here, just so I can show the battlefield. I just want to show the battlefield off so you can kind of get an understanding of what the characters do. Right? So as you see, they charge, but then as soon as they hit the tanks, they were just immediately stopped, and they could not reach the back line, which stinks. That's why tanks are very good for stopping chargers. You just got to really pay attention to the formation. But again, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I tried to show you guys and girls the best examples I could. I hope it helped. I hope you have a better understanding. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button for more mobile game tips. It is much appreciative, and I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.